Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Stop Shitting on Yourself. I am Jessica.
And I'm Jamie. How's your week been, Jessica?
It is a very quiet week, which I guess it's good. It's given me time to relax and chill and relax.
Oh, that's been nice. That's nice.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, it's been okay. Work has definitely been busy, but it's been really nice because I've been able to spend some time with my parents this week. And
Ooh.
yeah, and this week's conversation with my parents was kind of interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, we were kind of reminiscing about how I was in high school
Mm.
and middle school, and they have very different memories about how I was. And apparently, I have very different memories about how they were as parents.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was letting them know, I said, you know what? Like, you were really strict with me for so
Whoa.
many reasons, right? But I didn't tell them the effects of it. I'll go into that, but they remembered, their parenting completely differently. They were saying like, well, we thought we were just doing our best. And like, yes, they were, but like, y'all were strict. And they were saying, no, we were just regular parents.
That's
I'm here
funny.
like, yeah. And I'm here like, no, actually, parents, like my friends knew you were the strict
The
parents,
strict
the strict
parents.
parents. Yeah. So like, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that because I feel like we both grew up with strict guardians, right? I grew up with my mom and dad. I know you grew up with your grandparents. Um,
Yes.
yeah, and I feel like from our conversations before about sleepovers, we probably had some strict guardians.
Yeah, I feel like growing up, and we talked about this in our like growing up with Asian American families, or growing up as an
Mm-hmm.
Asian American, we talked about
Right.
some of like the weird, maybe like stricter, weirder rules that maybe only apply to us
Yeah.
because we grew up in that environment.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say I think I grew up with a pretty strict guardian. I'm sure there are like way stricter. Like I don't think they were like level 1 to 10, like they're not level like 10, but I feel like
Uh-huh.
they were pretty strict on me.
Yeah, I mean, with like sleepovers, that was pretty much non-existent. Even
No.
up till like in college, I remember I came back home and I was like, look, I'm gonna sleep over at so and so's place because they have their own place now. And my parents would be like, why? You have a roof over your head. Why would you sleep over? They were still the same way when I was in
Yeah.
college, right? And then I had to tell them, I said, like, mom and dad, don't you know that I pretty much sleep over with somebody in a dorm every single day? So
But
what's the
that's different.
difference? Exactly. It's exactly. They were saying, well, it's different because you're under our roof right now,
Mhm.
you know? So I feel like people who grew up with strict parents now are like really good at doing certain things as an adult.
Oh.
So for example, I feel like I've gotten really good at hiding things I want to hide.
Okay, just like in general or from your parents?
I mean, mainly from my parents, but also, if I wanted to make sure that something isn't found in my place,
Mm.
I know where to hide it. Like because I had to be so sneaky with my parents and my parents didn't find out certain things, um, I think I've gotten really good at that.
That's funny. I think, I don't think I've ever really been a great liar.
Mhm. Well, I mean, okay, I'm not the best liar out there either. I don't have a poker face, but it's
Mhm.
just like hiding things, No.
I know what you mean. I feel like there are certain things where like my grandparents, they even though they might not know the truth, they'll
Mhm.
choose to maybe like ignore it. And specifically, I'm thinking of an
Oh,
incident where I first moved out in college
yeah.
and they came over to my dorm to visit me.
Mhm.
And I was trying to stash away my alcohol.
Oh,
and
yeah, exactly. Stuff like
I
that.
like I put it away to where I thought they weren't gonna look, but
Okay.
of course. Of
They
course they would
saw?
look there. So it was like behind a cabinet. It was like behind all of like these other things behind a cabinet. And like it was like sort of hidden, but not
Uh-huh.
very well. But I remember like my grandma was like looking at my cabinet and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, like why are you looking through my cabinet? There's like nothing interesting
Oh,
there.
you were being suspicious.
I know. And then, she kind of like moved things and she was like, oh, like there's a lot of alcohol here. Um, but like to my surprise, they just like sort of let it slide. They didn't say anything about
Wow.
it. And yeah. So I'm not great at hiding things, but I do know what you
Wow.
mean. Like there are certain things where I feel like I don't think they'll ever find out.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, there's
Yeah.
certain things. I feel like the art of hiding something that you don't want your parents to see is that it has to be in kind of an obvious spot.
hmm
So it makes it hard, like it makes it less obvious, if that makes sense.
Oh, I get
Right?
it. I
Like,
get it.
right? Because if you put it in a spot where someone would think that you would hide it, then it's too
Yeah.
obvious, right? But then
Right.
if you put it in like an obvious spot where it's like, oh, like of course I'm not gonna look there because it's so out in the open. That's the perfect spot. But you just have
True,
to
true, true.
conceal it another, you know what I mean? This is what happens when you grow up with strict parents.
Hiding in plain sight. It's all about that.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But there's certain things I like couldn't do with my parents. So definitely like when I was younger, bringing home like a guy friend, right? Like I couldn't
Mm,
have guy friends at my place if my parents weren't there.
mhm.
I remember this one time in high school, I was hanging out with like one girlfriend and one guy friend, and we had just ordered Korean fried chicken. We are just about
Yeah.
to eat, and I get a phone call from my dad, and he's like, "Where are you?" And I'm here like, "Oh, I'm home. I'm about to eat chicken. We just ordered." He's like, "We? Who's we?" And I said, "Well, the friend, the girlfriend, and then the guy friend." I said both names because I thought, maybe he might be more chill. Like I'm a little bit more grown now, so maybe
Yeah,
he
yeah,
might be a
yeah.
little bit more chill. I was so wrong. So wrong. He immediately like yelled and he said, "That guy needs to get out of the house.
Oh,
There can't be a
no.
guy in the house. He needs to move now." And I said, "Dad, we literally just got the chicken. Can he just eat and then go?" Nope.
Of course
Nope.
not.
Nope. 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 He was like, "Nope. Nope. He got to go now." So I felt
That's
so bad. And I
crazy.
was like, "Yo, you have to go. I'm so sorry. My dad's actually going to arrive soon because he's heard that you're here."
Yeah. Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
at least you were truthful about it, but I'm surprised you decided to bring a guy home. I think for me,
Mm.
I've just never really asked like questions like that where I'm like,
Uh-huh.
if I know I'm probably gonna get a no, I just won't ask.
Yeah.
Because I had certain friends where like their families totally chill about, bringing guys home or
Yeah.
like having a group of
Right.
friends around.
Right.
Like the only time I was allowed to have like a big group of friends over, it's like if it's my
Uh-huh.
birthday or like if
Mhm.
we're doing a group project. So it's like, this is not by choice. This is by like teacher's orders kind of
Oh,
thing.
interesting. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and then I've talked about it a little bit more in like another episode where I got caught with my high school boyfriend.
Right.
Not good
That
times.
embarrassing moment.
Not
Yeah.
good times.
No.
Yeah. So I do feel like there are certain things where like you just don't ask because asking it'll just get you a no, right?
That's so true. That is so true. So I feel like, on a scale of like, let's say 1 through 5, right?
hmm
I feel like if you have like level 2 strict parents are kind of chill, they're whatever, you would
hmm
probably ask them about certain things like, "Oh, can I go to a sleepover?" And like,
hmm
kind of dip your foot in the water, see what they say. But I had parents where like I knew not to ask. It was just I knew it was going to be a no right away.
Not
Uh,
even like if they were in a good mood or something?
yeah, no. No. Cuz
Okay.
good moods did not decide whether they were going to say yes or no.
Wow,
Yeah. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I
Okay, so
know,
you had,
right?
like, strict parents, because
Yeah.
I could still, like, ask if, my grandparents were in a good mood, like, I had to, like,
Oh,
figure out,
uh-huh.
like, what am I trying to ask them? Like, kind of assess the level
Mhm.
of ask,
Uh-huh.
and then, like,
Uh-huh.
assess how they're feeling, and then if they're feeling good, and if I feel like they might say yes,
Uh-huh.
like, I would try and ask.
Mm. Yeah, see, I feel like, there's different levels of strict, obviously.
Yeah.
And even that was like scary too sometimes, right? I feel like with friends who definitely had guardians like that,
Mhm.
it was every time it was like hit or miss,
Mm.
like, hey, like, ask whether you can do this or do that and hang out with us. And it was hit or miss. For me,
Mhm.
like whenever my friends would ask, like, hey, just come out with us, right? Like, let's go have
Mhm.
dinner together. I literally would just stare at them and I give them the death stare. Like, do you not know who my parents are? Right? Like,
Yeah.
my curfew is like 6 p.m.
Oh my god,
Right?
yeah.
And you're asking me to go out to dinner?
Mhm.
Nah, nah.
6 p.m. is 6 p.m. is pretty early.
It's pretty early. So it would be like 6 or 7, depending on whether it was daylight saving time, depending on
When
that.
the sun went down kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I remember like one thing too was like you would know which parent was coming up to your room based off of
Oh
their
wow.
footsteps. No?
Okay, that's a little scary. That's a little
No.
like that's a
Is
little
it
like
just me?
Devil's Wear Prada. Like that's intense. We also had like carpet
Yes.
inside the house, so
But even
maybe
then,
I don't know.
no, because I would hear like stomps, like some harsh stomps. It was definitely my dad, right? Like the bigger, heavier ones. And then like the
Mhm.
lighter stomps, it was my mom. And I was like, ooh. And then I had a brother who's like 10 years older. So whenever he would like come visit, I knew his footsteps too. Cause I'm like,
Mm.
ooh, yeah, my brother was like, he was also a little strict with me, a little bit more chill, but
Mm.
less strict than my parents for sure.
Okay, but he was like the protective older brother then.
Absolutely. Still is.
Okay, still is.
Still is.
I feel
But
like I'm like that to my siblings, like because I'm the
oh,
oldest in the
yeah.
family, but I'm also the oldest cousin, like on the dad's side.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so I don't know. I just feel like I have to like guide them in the right direction or something, and like
Oh.
they'll bring home, maybe their like boyfriend or girlfriend, and
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Oh, like, and just want
Ooh.
to introduce you to my older sister." And
Ooh.
I'll always be the one that's like, "No, just I don't like them." Or
Really?
you guys shouldn't be dating right now. Like
Oh my
how old are you guys? How old are you guys?
gosh.
I remember when I first found out my half sister, she's like 10 years younger than me. When she first
Okay.
started dating, I was like, I straight up told my mom, I was like, "How could you let this happen?" Like I was so surprised, and it was probably right around like high school time, so like it made sense. It wasn't like she was dating when she was in like elementary school, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I've been through it, so I should have known, but at the same time I was like,
Right.
how can you let this happen? She's so young, like she shouldn't be dating until like after college or whatever. Like I had to like
Uh-huh.
I turned that around. Like I was like the
Wow.
district parents on her.
Wow. But you did the same shit when you were in high school.
I know. I know. I know.
Girl, girl. I feel like, later down the road, if you decide to be a parent, you're going to be one of the strict parents.
Yeah, I'm gonna be, yeah.
Just because I feel like you were more strict on yourself as a child.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like my parents were pretty lenient. I think because they were like all the way across the world. Like they can't, it's kind
Oh,
of hard to
right.
parent someone like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So they were pretty chill about it. Like my grandparents, they were like, as long as you get good grades, like, as long as you kind of like don't do anything crazy, you're
Wow.
fine, and like I'm the
Wow.
one. I feel like I parent myself a little bit when I was a kid because I was the one who's like, I feel like I need to do more like after school stuff, more like extracurricular activities.
Wow.
I'm gonna sign
Oh my
myself up for
gosh.
like pre-SATs. Like I like elected to do all of those things.
Girl, what?
Yeah, so maybe they felt like, you know what? She
She's
actually
got
wants
it.
to study.
She's got it
Yeah.
together. Man, I was like the way opposite. I remember like my parents had to force me to get into those after school programs or even like,
Mhm.
get more involved with that. Um, but I must say the one thing that they weren't so strict on were grades. So
Wow.
they just, they said don't fail class, don't get a D, right?
Oh my
But
God.
I know that's it. But it was like you're fine. You're fine with other stuff. But they would
Okay.
be strict on like other things like body modification, for example, even like ears piercing, like
But your
piercing my
ears are
ears.
pierced, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't until like I begged them for 2 years after wearing fake earrings for 2 years in
Oh,
middle school.
wow.
Yeah, even getting contacts was a big deal. Like my parents
Why?
said, because it's something unnatural that you put into your body,
Oh my
pretty
God.
much. Right. So they said, you should just be wearing glasses until you're like fully developed, which is like 18 plus. And I said, well, I can't
Yeah.
wait till 18 plus because I'm here running the tracks at like, I don't know. How old are you in high school again? Like 14, 15,
14, 15, something
right?
like that.
Somewhere
Yeah,
around
yeah.
there. So I didn't get contacts until like maybe my senior year of high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And my parents were like, they never let me get my nails polished when I was younger, when I was a
Mm,
kid, because they said, it prevents the nails from breathing. You're too young for that, which I totally get. Like there are definitely valid reasons for that. But I do see
yeah.
like my friends who are parents,
Yeah.
just get their kids manis and petties. And I'm here like, I was never able to do that when I was a kid.
Oh, okay. Well, I was definitely like allowed to do all of those things.
Dang. Well, maybe it's because you were more responsible. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. I don't think I've ever gotten like a no. Yeah, like my aunt took me to get my ears pierced.
Oh my gosh.
I got my like mani and pedi with my friends in high school, and that was kind of like the
Wow.
fun thing to do. But
Yeah.
like contacts, I feel like it's a little bit strange because it's like you have to see, right? So
But you can use glasses that was my parents' point of view. Like you can use glasses and you're totally fine. You don't have to put anything
okay.
in your eye. Yeah, man.
Interesting.
It was a
Wow.
lot. It was a lot that I had to argue just to get what I wanted. But yeah, even with piercings, right? Like my second piercing, I got it in secret.
Ooh,
And I
okay.
know I have my second ear hole pierced and I got it in secret and I would hide it like this whenever I was home. But one day I was
Mm.
on the couch and I was just, just chilling. I was on my phone. And then my hair fell back. And my mom from all the way across like the kitchen, I'm in the living room, she's in the
Yeah.
kitchen, and she sees like a shiny thing on my ear. And she came towards me. She's like, "What is that? What is that?" I said, "Oh, I got my second ears pierced." Because, now I'm caught. So I'm like, "I
Yeah,
got
yeah,
my
yeah,
second
yeah,
ears
yeah, yeah.
pierced." And she looks at me and she was like dead silent for about a minute. And I'm here like my heart is pounding, is pounding. I'm like, what is she gonna say? I'm in so much trouble. I don't want to take it out because it's still healing. And she goes, "Your dad is gonna be so pissed." And she
Yeah.
left. And I was like, oh
Oh
my
my
God.
god.
Oh my God. She's gonna make me deal with my dad. Oh my God. And you know what he did? He just didn't speak to me for like 2 days straight.
Oh my god. That's the scariest. I feel like when like like you
Yeah.
can yell at each other or like, your dad can yell at you and like it'll be
Hmm.
fine, but when they don't say anything,
Yeah.
that shit's scary.
That silent treatment. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oof. Oh
That.
man. Okay. Okay, I definitely feel like my upbringing was like I was still considered pretty strict, but
Uh-huh.
I mean compared to yours, like it's a lot of strict.
Girl, I know. I thought we were on the same page here, but you know what? I feel like maybe you reflect like my parents, like you were strict on yourself. Maybe I just needed a little bit more guidance with certain things, and that's why they were so strict with me. I don't know, but yeah, my parents were definitely strict. But I mean, now as an
Oh
adult, I look
man.
back and I get it. I'm like, I understand why you said no to certain things. I understand um why they parented me the way that they did. So it's not like a
Mhm.
bad thing. I joke about it now. Um,
Yeah.
because I know that it's, like they did their best and like,
Yeah.
I think I turned out okay.
I mean, I think you turned out more than okay. But I do agree with you. Like, I feel like a lot of people sort of make these realizations like later in their lives. A lot of people, typically do when they have their kids.
Right.
And I feel like that's why I hear adults say that to me all the time. It's like, you'll
Oh
know once you
yeah.
have your kids,
Oh
like you'll
yes.
know.
Yes.
But now that we're like in our late 20s, I'm like, some of the whether it's like teachings or some of the arguments that we had, I was like,
Hmm.
okay, like I can definitely see why they thought that that was good for me,
Hmm.
or like, oh, I could definitely see myself saying that to my kids.
Yeah. And that's what my mom would say when I was in high school. And it almost like haunts me at night sometimes because, randomly you have like random thoughts at night before you sleep.
Mhm,
Right.
mhm.
Um, I remember she would say after certain arguments that we had in high school, she would say,
Yeah.
just watch, you're going to have a daughter just like you. And then
Oh,
you're going to know why we're doing the things that we do. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to be the chillest parent ever. I'm not going to be like you guys where you guys are so strict, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm scared now. I'm scared
Yeah.
because I get it. I get what they were doing and I get it. And yeah, I'm scared. It's like if I have a daughter just like me in high school, oh, ooh, yeah, no. I don't want that.
Yeah, same, same, especially seeing like how I like treat my half sisters. Again, like it's like she's 10 years younger than me, so she's like a
Mm,
good, you know, like good
yeah.
age younger than I am. So I feel like I'm like I've lived through all of that. And I've done
Okay.
some like stupid shit, like all of us have, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, don't do that. But at the same time, it's like I get also, you know, the more chill parents is like, well, let them make their own mistakes and like they'll figure it out. But I'm like, no, I gotta
True.
protect you.
I know, right? So it's like it's almost like the control freak in a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
person
Yeah.
too.
So I can foresee myself taking part in that, especially because I parented myself quite a bit when I was younger
True.
too. So
True. True. You were like the responsible one. Wow. Yeah, we definitely had different upbringings. I thought you had some strict guardians too, but girl, I mean, whew, maybe not.
and I thought I had some pretty strict guardians, but clearly not.
I mean, yeah, we were on a different level, but you know what? It's all good because I think we turned out okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I
we're
don't
still
know.
learning and growing and getting there.
Yeah, we're definitely still figuring stuff out, like
Yeah.
what we should and shouldn't do in our lives. We're still figuring it out.
I mean, I feel like we'll be doing that for a very long time. Um,
True.
because I definitely don't feel like I have everything together.
Yeah, definitely not an adult yet, but still an adult. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where are we at,
As
Jessica? Where are we
always.
at?
Oh man, like I feel like now you've made me sort of reflect a little bit more on how I should have been reading how I was parented when I was younger. Maybe I should be a little bit less harsh about that. Maybe I should stop telling people that I grew up in a very strict environment.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe because they're gonna have the wrong impression. They're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, me too. Did you have this too? And were your guardians like this too?" And you're gonna be sitting there, kind of like, "Never mind."
Yeah, I guess not. I mean like it was harsh or maybe like strict in their own ways, like in
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, um being present.
What?
And like me being like scared of like, you know, their
Oh,
presence or you know something like
I
that.
see.
I
I
don't know. I don't
see.
know. But I'm also not like the super rebellious kind. So like if I got to
Yeah.
know, then I'm not going to like push against it.
Oh,
Um
yeah.
you know, I can count like there's maybe like a handful of things that I sort of pushed back on.
Wow.
But I was very soft spoken, so I don't, you know, I was just like, okay, sure. No is a no. I'll ask next year.
Wow. See, maybe it's because I wasn't like that
Yeah.
my parents were more strict. Because I would fight, I would argue, I'd say, "Why?" I was a brat. So I'm scared. I'm scared for my future children whenever that's gonna be coming through,
Yeah.
which is probably way later, but
But you know, hopefully like you've gotten that experience. You were able to like grow from that. So maybe you'll like
okay.
empathize with your kid a little bit more and
True,
then, you know,
true.
like put your own spin to it. I don't know. I'm
Very
sure
true.
parenting is hard. That's something that I'm not looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna try thinking about that. You know what I mean? I'm like way far
Mhm.
from it. Being
Yeah.
single as fuck. Why am I thinking about parenting?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah, same. I mean, I'm not single, but you know, I'm like that's
Yeah.
a very far thought in my head.
Yes, girl, I get that.
No, no. Technology will catch up when I'm ready.
Yeah, so we'll think about that later, but cheers to strict-ish parenting. Cheers to
Yeah.
that.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that. And you know, as always, let us know in the comments below how did you know how did you grow up? Did you have strict parents, strict guardians in your life? Were you your own very strict parent maybe?
Hmm.
And you know how you think you turned out. Like did you turn out super like obedient and just follow the rules, or like are you
Hmm.
rebellious like Jamie?
Hey, I kind of am. No, I have to admit. No offense taken. Yeah.
Yeah, like did you hide things really well, or like maybe you picked up on certain like skills because
Oh
you
yeah,
were, you know, you had to do certain things to go around your parents.
absolutely. I mean, kids who had strict parents definitely do pick up certain skills.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm also really curious if any of you guys are parents, how did you guys
Oh.
turn out as parents? Because I feel like I hear it all the time that you become
Hmm.
your parents
Oh yeah.
once you become parents. So like I'm curious if that is actually true.
Yeah, or did you break the generational curse? What'd you do?
Yeah. So anyway, that's what we have for you guys this week. We'll see you guys next Wednesday.